The kipping regrip on the bar is one of the most important movements that I think is overlooked with beginning athletes when they're learning to do kipping skills on the bar. The reason being is that when you are in this full hang position, it requires a couple things. One, it requires a little bit of active passive hang position. What that looks like is somewhere between this extremely long, I'm not doing anything position and this overly compensating scap pull-up. When you're in the middle here, you should be able to look around pretty freely, move your neck should be visible from the front, and it shouldn't feel awkward. You should be able to bounce just a little bit in this position. Now, once you're in this active passive hanging position, what we want to do is create a little bit of momentum in our lower body. That means we're gonna swing our legs. When our legs come forward, we have the momentum of the legs kind of lifting us up, and that is when you want to regrip. Now, the regrip itself is important because of the fact that when you're doing bar work, you may start slipping off and need to get a better grip on the bar. But it's also really important in this case to use as an exercise. This exercise is essentially any kipping bar skill. So when you're in a full hang and your lats are stretched out and your biceps are stretched and your pecs are stretched, when you do a little bit of a pull off the bottom of the hang, that causes a little bit of float time. And that float time is when you get the regrip. It's also when you're doing bigger movements and a bigger swing, the actual movement. See, kipping on the bar is kind of like jumping on a trampoline. You get the stretch at the bottom, and when you get released off the trampoline, that's when you do your trick, whether it's a backflip or whatever. But if you don't get enough bounce, if the trampoline's not tight enough in the springs, you're not gonna get enough height to do that trick. So this is us working on the springs of the trampoline, but the springs are now in our shoulders. We're going to be hanging in this position, hands about shoulder width, and then we're going to swing the legs and just get a little tiny hop. This is like standing on the trampoline for your very first time and trying to get just a little bit of air time off the bed of the trampoline. While we do this, this is going to create a little bit of dynamic contraction in the insertion points of the muscle. That means the lat way up here, the biceps right here, and even in the pec. So by swinging our legs like this, we are basically doing a kipping pull-up or a toes to bar with all that load from our body pulling down on the bar, but to a lesser degree. When you're learning how to snatch, you start with the stick and then an empty barbell and then a little bit of weight and you build up from there. This is how I like people to build up the strength for their kipping mechanisms on the bar. So we're going to start with this small little kipping swing, swinging the legs and regripping both hands at the exact same time. When they go at the same time, you have to be able to control the way down. Controlling the way down is a skill in itself. See, when the legs come up in the hands regrip, the legs still need to stay up while the upper body straightens out. If your body goes up and then the legs come down, then your body comes down, there's a big jerkiness on the bar. Watch this. That snapping at the bottom is what can lead to injury for the athletes and what also gives CrossFit kipping skills a bad name. So we want to make sure that the lower body is up in front so we get the regrip, hang, feel pressure on the bar, and then allow our legs to drop again. Do you see? Legs are still in the front, and then I grab the bar to release the legs, waiting again for the legs to come up. This is the kipping regrip on the bar, and if you're not doing it with your beginning athletes, or if you're a beginning athlete not doing it, you need to start like now.